What a headshot! What a head!
How's it guys, this is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I'll be taking you guys through my upcoming transfer plan for the upcoming Double Game Week 27. So Double Game Week 27, how can we talk about Double Game Week 27 without referring to Game Week 26? Don't worry guys, I'll be going over my entire team selection as well as what would have happened if I didn't wildcard and how many points I would have scored. So if you guys love seeing my misery, stay tuned for that. But if you want to skip forward to the more exciting portion of the video, just check out for my transfer plan heading to Game Week 27. So that's something I was interested in. Sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So going over the team review for Game Week 26, as you guys know, I wildcarded. Yes, what are the implications of that? Don't worry, I'll be showing you in the next talking point when I show you my team if I didn't actually use the chip. But so far, 30 points is the score that we've managed to accumulate. I just want to remind you guys that we do have two options tonight. That's Henry and Tony from Brentford, who obviously have Fulham at home. Without those two options, we're sitting at a game week rank of 6.6 million, absolutely terrible. And that's seen a red arrow of about 100k places to 358. So yes, we're probably going to get a red card on a wild card. And the reason for that is obviously that Liverpool madness, which I will talk about shortly. Now heading into Game Week 27, the double game week, we have one free transfer and 3.7 million in the bank. Yes, all that Salah money is in our bank, so we can make quite a big upgrade. So let's get on to the actual team. I'm going to start off on the bench. We still have Raya to play tonight, but he's not going to come off because our goalkeeper Kepa did feature and got us a clean sheet. Now you guys will see the big kind of eyesore in the bench is going to be Matoma with a lovely 13 points. You guys can probably guess who I started in my team like the majority of you, but we'll get on to that when we cover our midfield. We then have Botman and Trippier, who made it quite easy for our bench this week as they face Man City, and I was expecting them to lose the clean sheet. Now one thing to add about Botman and Trippier is the fact that Shaw was missing from training and actually missed that Man City game with the concussion. So if you guys did watch my team selection, that would have been a change from Botman in for Shaw, just because I was a little bit worried about that injury. Now moving into the rest of our defense, accompanying Henry, it's going to be Gabriel with a massive 1 point. So if you guys did watch the Arsenal game, I hope that you didn't have a double up or triple up in the Arsenal defense, because if you did watch that game, Bournemouth basically kicked off and scored immediately. So quite disappointing in that, but I guess everyone has owned the kind of Gabriels, the Zinchenkos, the Ben Whites. But as an added fact on that, you guys would have seen the player I owned last week was Ben White. What does he end up doing? Starts on the bench. I think to myself, I've dodged an absolute bullet here. Tomiyasu's come in. I've transferred out Ben White to rotation risk. I've got Gabriel in, who should start most games. Then what does Ben White go and do? He ends up scoring a goal in the second half. So the Gabriel clean sheet loss isn't too bad because I guess everyone has owned an Arsenal defender. Then the final defender to go for is going to be Stupinan from Brighton. Started the fixture, unfortunately didn't get any attacking returns in that 4-0 or 5-0 win. Kind of lost track of how many goals Brighton did score, but at least he got us the clean sheet at the end of the day. Now we did actually dodge an absolute bullet in terms of the team when we brought in a Stupinan instead of Sanchez, and as you guys know, Sanchez was benched in that fixture and might not even play for Brighton again. Now of course he will actually play for them, I'm just kind of exaggerating the fact that he's lost his spot. So let's hope Stupinan is actually more nailed than we thought. But now moving into midfield department and our double up of choice, the Arsenal assets was a super big letdown. Odegaard and our captain Bukayo Saka with only 2 points each. Now when I saw that Erling Haaland only got 1 assist, ended on 4 points, got a yellow card, I was super happy about my captaincy. I thought that here we go, this is the time I'm going to rise up the ranks with a nice captain. He wasn't as differential as I would have liked him to be, but still pretty differential in terms of a captaincy. But then what ends up happening, Bournemouth go 2-0 up against Arsenal, and then they score 3 goals, but Saka wasn't involved in any of them. Now he did have a couple of chances, same with Odegaard, so might have been a little bit unlucky there, but it was a real kind of kick to be outscored by Haaland when he only got 4 points. But now moving on to another captaincy consideration, Marcus Rashford with also only 2 points, so quite a disappointing week for captaincy overall, kind of a low scoring game week. And you guys know the rest of the story with Rashford, ended up losing 7-0 to Liverpool, one of the worst defensive teams over the last 6, over the last kind of season, but not even Rashford could score against them. Now everyone does kind of own Rashford at the end of the day, so not that big of a deal that he did end up blanking, but a little bit unlucky if you guys also did captain him. But moving on to our final midfielder, and you guys know this is going to be a Brighton midfielder, and the player that we actually brought in started was Solly March, who only got us 3 points. So if you guys went for McAllister, you went for Matoma, you would have outranked Solly March by quite a far margin. But if you guys look at the stats, he actually had a pretty good game. The most kind of penalty touches out of Brighton, had a few chances, assisted the assister for the Matoma goal. So a little bit unlucky there not to get an attacking return. But I guess that's FPL at the end of the day, and you have to take it on the chin. But if you guys did start Matoma, did go for McAllister, well done on that front. It was super funny when I was mentioning in my deadline stream that McAllister only kind of has penalties. He gets a penalty and also scores it. Now moving into our forward department, and the captaincy choice that I should have probably made was Erling Haaland, who ended on 4 points. Now overall, that Man City vs Newcastle game played out how I would have expected. Quite a low scoring affair, Man City only scoring 2 goals, but at least Haaland was involved in one of them. Now he was actually the second most popular captain among the highest ranks. Saka was definitely first, so Haaland, yes, was a differential captain. But at least he didn't go absolutely ham against Newcastle, because then I would have been super sad, as I do think the logic of going for Saka or Rashford was there, the points just didn't come. Then our final four to go over was going to be Harry Kane, so yet again, the disappointment of the wildcard continued. Wolves ended up beating Spurs, and Harry Kane did absolutely nothing. Now there were a few chances that I thought that maybe Son could have passed to Kane, he was in a better position than Son's shooting chance, but that wasn't the case, and no attacking returns came for the Englishman. So really the hope of Game Week 26 comes down to Henry and Ivan Toney, but even if they do go nuclear, I don't think that'll result in a green arrow. So yes, we will be actually unlocking the achievement of getting a red arrow on a wildcard. Now hopefully you guys didn't have as bad a game week as I did. You guys can flex in the comments down below, I don't care this week. If you captain Salah, let me know. If you missed the deadline, you overslept, let me know. Because chances are if you guys did miss the deadline, you probably look at a green arrow. But don't worry, this is a safe space. If you got a massive red, also let me know in the comments down below. I want to see how you guys got on. Now if you guys do enjoy a bit of my pain, you guys can stick around, because now I'm going to be going over the fact of the matter. If I didn't wildcard, didn't use the chip, what would have happened? Now you guys can also do this if you did use the wildcard, but I would suggest not. Just kind of look at this talking point, laugh at me instead, and then let's move on to double game week 27. So we're going to start off on our bench, and you guys can see that I would have had Danny Ward with his massive 11 pointer after saving a Ward-Prowse's penalty. He ended up getting 3 bonus points and a few save points as well, so massive haul for him. I would have had Kepa still in goal though, as he has been my goalkeeper of choice. In terms of the rest of the bench, Mykolenko missed out because of illness. We have Trippier and Greenwood who both got 1 point. And in terms of our backline, it actually was a pretty respectable game week. Ignoring Tarkowski, he got a yellow card, conceded 2 goals yet again, so massive 0-pointer for him. But Nathan Aki got a clean sheet but a yellow card, and then Ben White started off the game on the bench, but ended up on 7 points. That 7 points came because of that goal, so I'm really happy for you Ben White owners, because I think we deserved that at the end of the day. Then moving into midfield department, and here where things kind of spice up a bit, we've got Odegaard and Saka, both on 2 points. Rashford on 2 points, so he would have stayed consistent. Riyad Mahrez only 0 points because he didn't even come off the bench. So that is one of the players that I was happy to transfer out on my wildcard, but definitely the player that I wasn't happy about was going to be Mo Salah with a massive 21 points. Yes, that's right, 21 points, basically the amount of points I scored in Game Week 26's wildcard. But as a Liverpool fan, I guess that's kind of the thing you take with the massive victory. So that was the only thing keeping me happy, was the fact that my own team, Liverpool, the team I support, beat their biggest rivals probably 7-0 for the first time in apparently 90 years. But I do feel for you if you are a United fan, but as I said, don't worry, this is a safe space. You can comment all your L's down below. Now the final department to go over is going to be Erling Haaland. He would have stayed consistent, and if I didn't make a transfer, heavy caveat here, if I didn't make a transfer, I would have had Darwin Núñez for his 12 points. So going over the summation of this, I would have resulted in 64 points, which would have been 34 points higher than I currently have, but just remember Ivan Toney and Henry still play. Now I did mention the fact that I was probably going to do Ivan Toney in for Darwin Núñez, so if I did actually do that move, which I'm pretty sure I would have had Ivan Toney playing tonight, and then the total score would have been 52 points. So as I said, I probably would have done the Toney move, to be honest, so let's say 22 points and then whatever Ivan Toney does. So a pretty massive L in terms of the wild card. F's in chat down below for your boy. But let's now move on to Game Week 27, please. So now going on to the double Game Week 27 team selection, I'm going to give you guys the context of my current team before talking about transfer plan. And surely double Game Week 27 can't be as bad as Game Week 26. There's a knock at the door, it's Bournemouth away for Liverpool, so let's hope that Salah and Darwin don't bang again, because then the tears will be even more. So starting off on our bench, and unfortunately with the wild card, this is just how it's going to be for Game Week 27. We've got a massively stacked bench this week. We've got Kepa with Leicester away, great fixture on paper, Odegaard and Gabriel with Fulham away, and then finally Botman against Wolves at home. So could we actually bench boost in Game Week 27? Yes, we might. I'll discuss that more than the team selection coming up on Thursday. I want to give myself a few days to recover. But yes, expect some bench points this week. I mean, Odegaard, Gabriel, Botman, all of them could haul. It's only Kepa that I think might not. Now my starting goalkeeper will obviously be Raya with that double game week, Everton away, Southampton away, great fixtures on paper, and let's just see how Brentford perform tonight defensively. I'm going to pair him up with Henry from the same team, and I'm expecting big things from these Brentford defenders. Then I have chosen Kieran Trippier against Wolves at home instead of Gabriel. I just feel like there's more of an attacking threat, more of a clean sheet odds against Wolves at home, and that's how Trippier will be in my lineup. And then finally we have a Stupinan, our Brighton defender of choice, leads away Crystal Palace at home, a chance of maybe 1 clean sheet in there, which is enough for me to be honest. And now moving into midfield department, we've got our 2 Brighton midfielders, Matoma and Solly March. Pretty confident about these 2 assets. I do still believe they are the best Brighton mids to get, but McAllister will probably like a word. Now from a Brighton attacking point of view, one of the best attacks, if not the best attack over the last 6 game weeks, the XG is absolutely off the charts, and that's why I'm super confident on Matoma and March, even as a Campsey option. Then we're going to fulfill our midfield department with the Saka, with Fulham away, great fixture on paper, Fulham aren't the best defense, and Arsenal are looking pretty good. Let's just hope that Saka is the best midfielder to get from that Arsenal lineup. Then we have Marcus Rashford, and I'm expecting a big reaction from this United team, and they have quite a nice fixture against Southampton at home. Then finally moving into our forward department, we've got Erling Haaland against Crystal Palace away. This could be a nice game for Haaland to actually feature in, but because he's a single game week player, I probably won't captain him. Then we obviously have our transfer in, our last Brentford option to get. It's going to be Ivan Toney. Good fixtures on paper here, Everton and Southampton away. Although I don't really like them being away games, I still feel like Brentford and Ivan Toney can do pretty well. But one thing to definitely note about Ivan Toney when you do consider him is the fact that he has quite a few yellow cards. So if I am correct here, he currently is sitting on 8, and if he gets 10, he will be suspended. So if he does get a yellow card tonight, I probably won't captain him, because that means if he gets a yellow card in the first game, he'll miss the second game of the double game week. So let's wait and see what happens tonight, but hopefully he'll be playing both games in double game week 27. Then our final option, Harry Kane against Nottingham Forest at home. Now please Harry, I beg, please do a haul in this game, because if you can't score against Nottingham Forest at home, I don't really know what to do with you. So I do have hope for a Harry Kane haul, but let's see how it goes. Now the final talking point to go over is going to be a quick reaction in terms of captaincy. So right now my captain is going to be Ivan Toney, but that does depend on the yellow card tonight. I agree that Matoma and Marge probably play for the better attack, or in better form right now, but you guys saw on the weekend, it's so hard to predict which Brighton midfielder to get, and that's why I just worry that I will miss out on a haul from either of them. So Ivan Toney, more of a talisman, and that's what I'll be going from, and I just hope that he doesn't get a yellow card tonight. Let me know how your guys' Game Week 27 squads are looking. Hopefully this is the game week that the wild card really kicks in, and we can get some green arrows coming up shortly. Now the last talking point I want to go over is going to be my transfer plan for the upcoming game week, and no surprises here guys, you would have seen my starting 11, my bench. I'm probably not going to make a transfer, and I will bank it for the upcoming game week. That'll therefore allow me to take 2 transfers into blank game week 28, where we are looking to potentially take out Haaland for Watkins. So in terms of those future moves, I'm currently looking at Haaland to Watkins next game week, then we'll have 2 free transfers into double game week 29, where I'm looking at those United assets, but I want to see them rebound quickly. Other than that though, we could go for Madison, could go for some other assets if we don't like United, but right now Bruno Fernandes and Luke Shaw in looks pretty set. But let me know if you guys have any transfer dilemmas for this upcoming week. Would I do Matoma for McAllister or Solly March to McAllister? Absolutely not. So that's why I think I'm just going to sit and I'll make a transfer. But if you guys do have any dilemmas, comment them down below or on my Discord server, and I'll try and get back to you shortly. But that's the video guys, hopefully you enjoyed. Please don't like if you didn't subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I'll be seeing you guys for more videos coming up, a wildcard draft probably tomorrow, the ultimate guide on Wednesday, and then finally the team selection coming up on Thursday. Hopefully Ivan Toney and Henry absolutely bang tonight, because that's the only chance of us getting a green arrow. But I'm going to sign off, Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.